Live on a Get Out of Town Friday edition of the program, Merely Bo, the Great Z. What are we doing in long sleeve and fleece? It was 48
Surviving,
degrees.
that's what I'm doing. You're wearing shorts because you're...
I just refuse to, I'm just not going to acquiesce.
I'm not doing it.
It's a state of mind, and I'm just saying it's summer, and I'm going to deal with being cold.
I got the Hoff beef fleece on. Let's go.
Those are great beefs. It's a great fleece. Great beef.
Looks cool because his Six Springs Farms logo with the Hoff beef is now on the football, but the original one is like an actual silhouette of, I think, an elk.
Oh, that's cool.
Got. It's pretty sweet.
Is that what his brand? Does he? He's not going to have to brand because they don't have all the cow population. So he's not going to brand.
Right.
Yeah, because that's usually a big decision. Is what are we going to do for the brand on this?
Right.
So that would be the one to do. Let me ask you this. I have a hot take.
I have lots of things for you too.
I see that you have a list. Yeah. Content. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Could you make an argument that Tom Cruise is the greatest athlete of our lifetime?
Athlete? No. And I know his stunts are very impressive and all that.
They're unbelievable. No. He's 60. This is the 8th Mission Impossible.
Yep.
It came out last night. We have seen this man skydive from heights that you should not be able to skydive from.
Jump a motorcycle off a mountain.
We saw him jump a motorcycle off a mountain. We've seen him do that thing. I don't even know what it is. I didn't even know it was real, where you have like wings and you like fly through a valley. We've seen him do that without engine or any sort of propel.
We've seen him hold on to the side of an airplane that took off in real life. Like he really did that.
He was on the side of the Burj Khalifa all the way up like this. Did that. You bet. Yeah, the plane. He's hanging from planes. They haven't released the images of what he's doing in this one, but there's a clip that I saw on Fallon of like 5 seconds of him like what appears to be like cartwheeling on the wing of a plane. It's a 60-year-old man, dude. It's 40 years of this, let alone the fact that he's probably sprinted more than anybody in the history of film. Every movie he sprints full out as far as he can go.
Could you make the case that he has been, for his level of fame and success, the most reckless with his personal well-being? Yes, that I can buy into.
Oh my God! I mean, you'd be more like Howard Hughes, like trying to fly planes type stuff. Like you got to go way back.
Like because Evel Knievel,
but that's his business.
That's his gimmick.
That's
like
the job.
This guy's doesn't need to do any of his own stunts.
No.
Fact, most of them could be done probably with CGI, but he's like, no, I'm doing it.
In the Dead Reckoning 1, he flew the helicopter. At the end, when it goes all haywire. That's him flying a helicopter in a way. Helicopters are absurdly dangerous, and he's flying it in a way to show how out of control it is, and it's him flying it. He's been a pilot since 1994.
He flies at the end in the P-51 Mustang. It's his own plane.
His own thing. It's the damnedest thing. And here's another thing that's pretty crazy about him. You and I are men, we're 40. He has been in our life our entire life.
Oh, yeah.
He's
you saw The Ringer did like a movie draft of his, and Simmons thinks he won. Simmons doesn't have Top Gun or Maverick, so like you can't win.
What does he mean to you guys? You guys are both young.
By the way, to answer your question earlier, I would give it to him if he actually jumped out of a plane at Mach 3.
It was Mach 10.3.
Mach 10. If he actually jumped out of a plane at Mach 10. Well, he did in the movie.
That's the great line for when the first time I watched it with all three boys. I was texting.
He didn't do that stunt.
I was texting the great undersecretary, Mr. Thomas Modley, and I had texted him and I said, "So, a couple of questions the boys had about Maverick. Number one, I think the first thing was Hangman would have absolutely been on that mission, correct?"
$1,000,000,000.
And he goes, "Yes,
he's the best pilot.
He's the best pilot. He would have been there for sure." And then one of the other ones was Mach 10.3. And he goes at one point, he goes, "Bo, it's a movie. Just enjoy it." That's about right. It's a movie. Just
if he pulled that off, though, I might give him the nod.
Yeah, I think you would probably disintegrate it like jumping out at like Mach 1. You probably would disintegrate it slightly more, let alone 10 times faster. Anyway, so I was saying, what is your guys' relationship with Cruise? Is it just Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible, Top Gun. Mission Impossible is one of my favorite action series of all time.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's
dun, 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 dun. It's the best.
When you watch the very first one, do you remember watching the first one?
Of course.
In the theater?
The dang Gideons.
Yeah.
The Gideons got him. I
Drake
stayed
Hotel.
at the Drake Hotel
Drake
in
Hotel.
Chicago when I went there I was working with McKinsey at the time. That's how old that movie is.
Oh, it's
right out of
mid-90s.
school.
Yeah.
And I think the movie was mid-90s.
Yeah.
So the first time I got to go to Chicago, and they're like, all right, where do you want to stay? I was like, I want to stay at the Drake Hotel.
It's fantastic. How was it?
Great.
It's great.
It was a nice upscale
It's right
hotel.
on the end of Michigan Avenue.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
stayed there because of Mission Impossible. Yeah, John Voight.
Did you think that was the start of this? When
I
you
didn't
watched
think it. Did I think that it would still be happening now? No, but I thought it was going to be a franchise. There's the music. Great
So
job.
good.
I mean, dun, 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 dun.
Did you have any relationship with the television show, or was it just the movie?
So my dad I think I'd seen it. I was certainly aware of it, and then the movie was great. Like, I loved it.
I did too. I actually think it's still my favorite of the whole series. Is the first one.
The guy that is it's my favorite one too.
Yeah.
The guy that is, I guess, like the head of it, who's like, it was a mole hunt and you survived or whatever. Kittredge. Despicable.
He's still in it.
Despicable.
He's in the most recent ones.
Come on.
He's still in it. He's still running the CIA. I just watched
He's a buffoon.
I just watched what is this? Dead Reckoning 1 and then Final Reckoning or whatever. I just watched Dead Reckoning 1 2 nights ago. I watched it.
All right, I'm going to have
And he
to
was
go
in
through
it.
and see which ones I've actually watched. I've probably seen at least 5 of them.
I can't. This is the thing that I think that
The one that starts where he's hanging off the cliff in
That's 2.
in Monuments, the Monument Desert or whatever.
Yeah, that's 2.
Yeah,
when
I've
he's
seen that
on
one.
the motorcycles, and then 3 is Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Seen that one.
which is great. Then they all run together. Ghost Protocol, Fallout.
Yeah, I
Rogue
watched one
Nation.
where there. I want to say like in like Prague maybe, or is that
I think you're in Prague a lot.
A
in
lot.
those. It's a
That
lot.
might
of
be the
Prague,
first one.
Vienna.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of those type of places where you find yourselves. Yeah, I can't. I think the only mistake they probably made was naming them all instead of them having just be
Just Mission
MI6,
Impossible.
7,
Yep.
8.
Totally.
Because sometimes they all run together for me. I think of them as scenes, and I forget what runs into what. But for you and I mean, I'm pretty sure the first movie that I went to the theater and saw as a little kid was Top Gun. It's the first one I remember that wasn't a Disney cartoon. Like, I remember with my mom when I was very little, like going to see like Disney, like
My first
Bambi
theater
or whatever.
movie that I really remember
But
is
Top
Return
Gun-
of the Jedi.
Yeah, I did not see that in the theaters.
Oh, baby.
It was Top Gun was the first one I saw. I don't know how my parents thought to take me to it.
Yeah, I don't know how you missed Return of the Jedi.
My dad's not into that. He's not going to be.
He wasn't a Star Wars.
No,
my dad was.
no,
my dad was.
My dad was interested in one genre, Western. That's it. That's
John
the
Wayne.
list.
Is John Wayne in it?
Yeah,
Then I'll watch
that's it. That's all he would watch. So no, I was not a Star Wars kid. So it was. Now I loved them all, but I didn't. It wasn't something like where I raced out to see.
Are your kids into Star Wars?
Oh my God! In the pandemic, they went nuts with it. Crazy.
It's the best.
Yeah, I mean that
So
was.
is Bootsy loving this season of Fortnite? It's like a Star Wars, and it's awesome. It's amazing.
He was really excited about it. I
You can
noticed
fly an X-wing. You can fly a
yesterday
TIE
when he
fighter.
was homesick. There was a purchase, a V-Bucks purchase that
Good.
was made that he must have needed for something that's going on in Fortnite.
Well, I just wanted a skin. Typically,
Yes.
that's all it
That's
means.
usually what it is, like $9.
Yes. No, that's a good one. So you just got I think it's like 1,000 maybe.
I don't know what that means, but that's what he was all excited about that. Yeah, so they were into it. In the pandemic, we watched them all in order,
Yeah.
which was pretty fun. They are much more fond of the 3, I guess, prequels than I am. Like, they worked for them.
All right, so here we go. This is what I wanted. This is one of my topics for you because
Go
of
ahead.
this, and I wanted to ask you about the Fortnite and
Yeah,
all of that.
Yeah.
So there are obviously the 9 canon movies of Star Wars.
Yep.
I think
Boy, I'm gonna have to get this. I'm gonna have to write these down because I'm trying to remember.
And then there is obviously Rogue One, which takes place between 3 and 4. So remember when 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, then 7, 8, 9.
Star Wars is 4,
Star Wars is 4, A New Hope.
and then
Empire Strikes
Empire,
Back.
then
Return of
Jedi,
the Jedi.
and then okay.
Then you
So
have the
Rogue.
first-
When does the one you say Rogue?
Rogue One.
Rogue One
which
is-
spawned, I should say, Andor.
Which is supposed to be great.
Yeah, and I want to watch. I'm like,
I've heard that's great. It's like world building.
big on
and,
my list of things to watch. Is
yeah.
Andor.
So where does Mandalorian hit in all this?
Before
Oh,
is it
that's-
before all of it?
Wait.
Easy, G-Man. Easy. G-Man, welcome. Get to the mic.
Hi.
You always come in
No,
a big way.
Mandalorian takes place after Return of the Jedi because
Luke,
after Jedi.
Yes, Luke is in The Mandalorian. He comes to get Grogu
At some point.
at the end. And
Why did let me ask you this.
Mandalorian takes 5 years after the 5 years after the Empire's defeat and Return of the Jedi, and 25 years before the First Order's rise in The Force Awakens.
So we defeat Vader and the Emperor at the end of Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, yep.
How do we not have just a great run for the good guys?
Because then the First Order arises.
But how'd they get so much power so quick? It didn't seem like it took long. Like there wasn't a whole lot of celebrating. It feels
it's
like
25 years. You had 25 years. You had a
25
quarter century.
years of good.
Yeah.
And then it started to crumble. So my kids think two things on Star Wars where my kids are in regard to the way that they view it. They like Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones way more than I did.
Yep.
Way more. Like I thought one of them I can't even stand. I think it might have been the very first one, Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace, like, it's completely saved by the battle between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul.
It also has the awesome pod racing.
Come on.
Yeah, pod racing
this
is great.
Pod racing.
Pod racing's fantastic.
So here's the other thing about Star Wars for them. One of the great reveals, shocking moments in film history was ruined for them because to them, Darth Vader's cuddly. So despite the fact that I didn't see Return of the Jedi in the theaters, I watched them in order. And when you hear Luke, I am your father.
Oh, baby.
What are you talking? This is the worst person to ever walk the planet. And you're telling me he's the dad of the best guy?
That's right.
Are you out of your mind?
The Force is strong with him.
I mean, he's so reprehensible as a human in the first one. Vader is. You're terrified of Vader.
He's
as a little kid.
He's the big bad.
He's as big a bad as it's going to get. And so my kids did not have that reaction because they knew him as warm and cuddly Anakin Skywalker, and they knew him as that he was Luke's father. So that part was ruined for them.
Yeah, that's a tough ruin.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it's a big one. All right. What's in your opinion, if you were to rank the Star Wars movies 10-1, and we'll include Rogue One, which, are you familiar with Rogue One?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, not to the point where I would be able to tell you everything that happened, but I definitely have seen it. Gosh, the last three are going to all run together for me too. I don't know what happens, and I think the one is The Force Awakens, the first one.
Yep. That one's
That's
good.
really
then it's
good.
The Last Jedi, and then it's Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Okay. I don't remember. I could not tell you what the difference between The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker is. I don't know. I know what happens in the end. And don't they like reverse engineer the Emperor?
Yeah.
Who's already been, it seems like they really blew that.
They did.
I remember watching the last one and thinking like, why won't this just end?
The last one was not what it
Did not
been,
deliver.
Unfortunately, no, it did not.
The second one is when she spends the whole time trying to convince Luke to be a good guy again.
Yeah. That one's okay.
It's okay. It's a lot of I don't know that I buy him breaking that bad.
Agreed. He's so distraught or despondent.
All right. How about the first? I mean, I remember. So the first three, I want to think the third one is the best of those, right?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
That's Revenge of the Sith.
So they're really. Hold on. One. Oh yeah, I have Rogue One in there already, and then. All right, I got my 10 in order, from back to first, and this is, I'll tell you what, playing that Fortnite or seeing with us and the sounds and the music. And
my kids were so good. That's got to be why they're so.
It makes
excited.
me want to watch Star Wars so bad.
Do you know what we did when we went to Disney? You should do this when you take young Zogs and take your older kids too. When you go to Disney in Florida, and then you go into the Star Wars world,
we've done it.
You've done it.
Yes.
Did you make the lightsabers?
They already had them, so they didn't want to like redo that. Like when we went.
When they were little, you did the build, like when you go in the room and they close the door and it's black and there's the guy who doesn't break character.
Yeah,
that's the coolest thing. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. That thing blew my mind. Blew my mind when they did that. When they built the lightsabers, and then they had like the things you had to put them in to get them home safely because they're quite expensive, unfortunately. And
they really glow.
And they really glow, and they light up,
deal.
and they make the sounds. So when we, in the last week, the boys got those out again. I'm like, what is going on? So
because of Fortnite. That's why. Totally.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to bring this up to you, because it is because of Fortnite.
That's why it all happened.
All right, do you have your 10? Do you have an order on your 10?
Where is that? Yeah, I can get. I mean, like this was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, they're out there with lightsabers. Like, fight. It was awesome.
As they should be.
As they should be. Yeah. Okay. I feel very confident in my top 5.
Okay.
I think beyond that, I don't know if I could speak educatedly enough to be able to tell you the difference.
I think
between
there's
some
7 really good ones.
Right.
And 3 that
Give
are
me
not
your
great.
10. Let's go yours,
Right.
and then I got
Number 10 is Phantom Menace. It's terrible. What's the name of that jabroni that's all over that one?
Jar Jar Binks.
That guy.
This is crazy, dude.
Get him out of here.
You're too young. You weren't even born probably when that came out. G-Man.
No, I was not.
Young Brock wasn't either. The anticipation for that movie, like television stations would go. People were lined up down the street to see the first Star Wars movie in 20 years, 25 years.
Yep.
And it was George Lucas. It was all of it. The anticipation for that was bigger than anything from a movie standpoint that I can recall in my life.
Oh yeah.
Was that. So, but it was bad. And in the moment, even we were like, what just happened here? What just happened? I do remember thinking that Darth Maul had a hell of a lightsaber, and he was a pretty cool bad guy.
Double-sided.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was very, very
All right,
good.
so you have him at 10. Go ahead.
All right, number 9 for me is Attack of the Clones.
So that's the middle one. Is that the one where you get the giant lightsaber fight at the end with Yoda leading everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, and like a
That's kind of
Coliseum.
cool.
That part of
That
it's
part's
cool,
kinda cool.
but it's like a bunch of robots and whatever.
Battle droids.
Who's the
whatever.
big bad guy in that? The
Count Dooku.
Yeah, but
Count
there's
Dooku.
also
Grievous.
General Grievous.
Yes.
General Grievous.
Yeah, the Bootsy loves saying General
Grievous really comes to fruition in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, then number 8 is The Last Jedi, just because I don't really think they stuck the landing.
Okay, that's the very last one where we get like it just feels like it won't end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 7 for me is The Rise of Skywalker.
Really?
Yep.
Oh no, that's the second to last one, right?
That's second to last.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Last Jedi is the second to last one. Rise of Skywalker is the last one.
Okay.
Rise of Skywalker is the last one?
Yes.
So you want those inverted?
I'd invert them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 6 for me then is The Force Awakens, which I really like.
So it's interesting. So this is the only thing that I have it third. I thought The Force Awakens was awesome.
I love Force Awakens.
I thought it was awesome.
Agreed.
Really cool. Held up. The Kylo Ren stuff was amazing.
Yeah, and Han Solo.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very
Yes.
cool. So
Yes.
I had that one third.
All right.
Go ahead.
I've got 5th. I have Revenge of the Sith. That's the
Same.
Darth. That's where you get Darth.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
is
same.
That is a very fine film. Why, too low to you?
Yeah, a lot of people my age, I think, would have that 1 or 2.
Okay.
NBC loves it. Like he loves Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
All
He's
right.
closer to your age than you are to mine. Sadly, G-Man.
So The Last Jedi, you're saying, is the one that is not the final. Rise of Skywalker is the final movie?
Correct.
All right. So, yeah, then I actually do like The Last Jedi. So that's in my top 7. I had those confused on which was which. So, yeah, and I think there are 7 really great movies. Number 4 for me is A New Hope, the original.
That's 4. I agree.
It's so great. I mean, these
I'm
are
going to tell you
great.
something, though. I'm going to tell you something, though, on 4. On a rewatch, because I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago with one of the boys. We're getting into it. It's a lot of talking in the beginning.
You got it's some
It's a
world
lot of
building
setup.
and
But
scene
for
setting.
kids that are young, they're not used to like 30 minutes of trying to like. Luke, what's your hesitation here?
It does come out of the gate pretty good.
It does with
'cause
Vader.
You got Vader, and
But then you go to the
ship.
you go to the planet, and you're like, God dang, it's a long time, man. Let's get to it. The little guys in the boat or the ship and all that.
Jawas.
The Jawas. Let's move it along. And Luke's a little whiny. He's a little whiny.
Yeah, there it is, the cantina.
Once you get from Cantina on, rocket ship.
But you didn't once you get to Han.
Yeah. Then that's when it sets off. Yeah.
When he shoots him under the table. It's great.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is Rogue One. I think Rogue One is a masterpiece.
So I'm gonna have to revisit it because I watched it once.
Masterpiece.
And I don't have a
I probably watched
good
it 10
recall.
times.
I don't have a
My
great
kids
recall of it.
loved it.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Loved it. Rough ending.
Very
Tough.
rough ending.
Tough ending, but masterpiece.
Like tears.
Yeah,
tough.
crying. Yeah.
Boy, it's funny. I don't remember it. You're not
Waterworks.
spoiling it for anybody. Everybody's seen it at this point.
I mean, it came
What
out
happens
in,
at the end?
Everyone dies.
Yeah, they get what they need to get the information.
And that's
about
that's
how
the
they're
information
gonna
they get to
then-
Leia.
Yeah, and that's the information then allows them to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say many Bothans died to bring us this information? Or that's in the
Oh,
third. That's in the
yeah,
last
yeah.
one. That's in the last one. That's
Yeah.
in Return of the Jedi. That's what's her name? It'll come to me.
I can picture it, but I can't say it.
Mon Mothma or something like that. Rogue One is a masterpiece. Yeah, at the end, like they basically get like wiped out in like a nuke.
Yep.
Is what it kind of seems like. But
The
they
Em-
get
the Empire takes them out.
they get what they needed to do. Yeah, they get.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Return of the Jedi. The Ewoks. I mean, as a kid, for me, and that's part of probably where my time. I still have the Burger King glass cups
course, yeah.
that are amazing. Like they don't make stuff like that anymore. Those are beautiful glass cups. It feels like hand painted. I know they're not, but it feels like they are.
Yeah, they put a great deal of care into it. I actually have them inverted. Then I have 1 and 2 inverted because. So for me,
Yep.
it's Jedi.
Okay.
Jedi is the one I've seen the most. That is one that I watched as a kid all the time. All the time. I probably didn't have a real appreciation of Empire until later.
Agreed. If you would have asked young me, it would have gone Return of the
Jedi.
Jedi, A New Hope, and then Empire third, and now Empire's number 1 overall for me.
Yeah.
It's the best movie.
It is, and I think but I do think that like I remember watching Empire once as a kid, and then kind of that was all I needed, but I watched Jedi all the time. I mean, it's so great.
It's
so
the
great.
best.
Yeah.
Jedi spawned. Gosh, what are those? Jedi spin-offs.
I just think like that final fight scene between Luke and Vader. It's just incredible. I mean, with Palpatine sitting on the
Sitting
throne,
there. Yes.
just watching the whole thing go down.
Yeah.
What a scene! It's
Well, and the
fantastic.
reveal
Great
of the helmet coming off at the end for Vader. Like, remember, we don't have what you guys have.
right.
Which is the origin story of that. You have no idea how he gets these. At one point in the fourth one, which is really one point in Star Wars, where he said he's more machine than man now, but we don't know what that means. We have no idea what that means.
If
we
I were
like
to-
the audacity to jump in the middle of a story and start.
I mean, if I were to do it again, I feel like I'd watch him in release order.
in release order.
So
I would
start with A
too.
New
I would
Hope.
do that too. I would do it the way it's intended.
Yeah.
I would do it in release order. I don't think I would do it chronologically.
I would probably watch. I'd go start at 3 and just go and forget one. I don't need to watch 1 and 2.
Yeah, you could go 3 and then go Rogue Nation. Is that what you're saying? Like
Go
go 3,
3,
Rogue
Rogue
Nation,
One.
or Rogue One. I'm sorry. And then
3, Rogue
Nation's
One,
the
and then
Mission
4, 5,
Impossible.
6, 7, 8, 9. Now, supposedly, the Andor series, which is done
Music
with 2
is so
seasons,
good.
sets up something that could spin off into a spin off around the world of Return of the Jedi, which I'd be excited. Do you remember when we were kids, though, they had the Ewoks, the Battle for Endor, and then Ewoks Caravan of Courage, 2 Star Wars spin-offs? There's like little blonde kids running around with the Ewoks on Endor. Do you remember those
I
at
remember
all?
the cartoon. I don't remember. You're telling me it was a live action?
Yeah.
I don't remember a live action anything.
Yeah, here it is.
That's
like
an
this little
unbelievable
girl,
score, by the way.
That little girl. You don't remember
Oh,
her?
yeah. I do think that does.
It was like 85.
Yeah, I do remember that a little.
Yeah, those are good. Those are quality stuff. They were called Ewok Adventures. Wilford Brimley was in it. I mean,
Of course he
talk
was.
about some Wilford Brimley. What do you want?
Dude, if you ever, so we were just playing that obviously the audio from Star Wars, the theme from Star Wars. John Williams did all that.
All of it.
Indiana Jones too.
Dude, he did Indiana Jones,
Yep.
E.T., Jaws, Star Wars, Jurassic Park.
He's like,
my God.
He was the Hans Zimmer.
Superman the movie. He did that too.
He was Hans Zimmer before Hans Zimmer.
He's on a whole other level, dude.
He was like the Hollywood composer.
I mean, he did them all. I mean, he crushed every single one that I just read. You know that you could hum it right now if you wanted. Every single one of them. Jaws, Star Wars, E.T., Indiana Jones.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Jurassic Park. Come on, dude. That's your guy. Yeah, it's been. I did think that the
What was it? What's his name?
John Williams.
John.
I do think that the Force Awakens of the newer generation, that one is. I think that one's unbelievable.
Force Awakens is great.
It's amazing.
My kids were obsessed.
I loved it. I mean, we all watched it. I remember, and it was, yeah, that one was great right away.
Trying to see what awards he's won here.
Oh my God, it's got to be.
I'm trying to
I
compare
wonder how
him
many
to Hans
Grammys
Zimmer.
John Williams has.
Well, it's all. I mean, the Academy Awards. He's got to have 1 million of them. I mean, how many of his?
Here we go.
List. It's its own
List
Wikipedia
of awards and
page.
nominations. I got it right here.
Okay, here it is. You got it. Fiddler on the Roof. He did Fiddler on the Roof.
Prime for prime, I'm taking this guy over Beethoven. I got to say.
I think you're right. I think he's
All right,
over
hold on.
Beethoven.
All right, so he wins Academy Awards for Fiddler on the Roof, Jaws, Star Wars, E.T., Schindler's List. Oh, man. Yeah, he was nominated.
How did he not win for Indiana Jones? You got to be kidding me. Indiana Jones doesn't win? What are we doing?
Hans Zimmer only has 2 Academy Awards.
That's
He's got
crazy.
5.
That is crazy that Raiders of the Lost Ark that Indiana Jones did not win. Also pretty crazy Jurassic Park didn't win.
Jurassic Park's such a theme.
I mean, come on.
Oh, man, he did The Patriot. He did Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and
Saving
the Prisoner of
Private Ryan. Jeez.
Azkaban.
Yeah, that's your guy. That's the genius.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That's your guy at all.
He did
Did you
Saving
watch
Private
that
Ryan as
Dial
well.
of the Destiny, Indiana Jones?
I watched them all. That was the most
How was
recent
that one? Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It was okay?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. All right. We should do, maybe a little bit of football here off the top. Did Coach Stefanski did the rounds this morning. He was on RBS and on with Mo Pedwin as well this morning. So
He
did
did.
that.
He did.
I didn't see anything incredibly newsworthy in terms of something that I didn't know in all of it. Obviously, a big topic of conversation on both of the interviews was the quarterback and how that's all going to shake out. And look, I think what you have from that is the first really true 4-person quarterback competition. That's what you got.
Yeah, now he said that they're not going to split it up, 25%, 25%, 25%. It's going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to even try to go 2 fields, get the 2 rookies together on one field, Flacco and Pickett on the other, and let them roll. He had a lot of great things to say about Kenny Pickett. He had a lot of great things to say about Shador. He said, quote, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. He's really working hard. I like everything there is about Shador. Big fan of Kenny Pickett's as well. Yet not a ton of news. I mean, you could go through like the Browns beat, and there was not much that was said that was picked up at all.
No. Did you play golf last night?
No, rained out.
Knew it. Yeah.
Yep, rained out.
Yep. We're underwater. That's just
terrible.
what it is, kids.
It's
just,
awful.
It's absolutely awful. I think Memorial Day weekend holiday in the state of Ohio has the biggest discrepancy from greatness to suck. Because if it were 75, baby, this weekend, we're kicking off summer. We're at pools. We're on the lakes.
Yes,
we're in boats
we're
and jet
supposed to be.
skis and golfing and all of that. No one's going to do any of that this weekend.
Yeah.
You can do some of it. We're going to fight through, and there's going to be people trying to act like they want to get in a swimming pool this weekend. The reality is you don't. You just don't. You're not going to want to go jet skiing this weekend unless you're in a wetsuit. Like all of those things are
looks like
pushed aside.
next the weekend of the 31st looks like we got a chance to get back into it.
I don't think we have anything that begins with an 8 though in the 10-day. It's all 70s at best. And it was 48 this morning.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Felt like 40.
Not great.
No,
not great.
Terrible.
It's a Mailbag Friday edition of the program. Send your questions into us at Browns_daily, and we will get to those in the second hour of the program. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Harold Fannon Jr. coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. We head to the podium now, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package day for the ultimate game day. Here is Browns tight end Harold Fannon Jr. from rookie minicamp.
There's a few MAC
You're down.
who are here at minicamp.
Yeah, I definitely talked to them. Us Matt guys, they kind of close. Yeah, got a guy from Western Michigan, he was talking about the game or whatever. But yeah, I met a few.
How about David and Njoku? Have you met David yet? Have you talked to David? And have you guys kind of gotten excited together yet about what you can accomplish out there?
No, actually, I haven't talked to him yet. But, obviously I've been watching tape on him and stuff, just trying to take little bits and pieces of his game and kind of, use it to my advantage.
And what do you like about his game? What are you trying to acquire yourself in his game?
Oh, man, I definitely just say, his physical, his dominance, very physical type of guy. I kind of want to take little bits and pieces of that and add it to mine.
What kind of jump will it be to go from the MAC to the NFL?
Say one more time?
What kind of jump will it be to go from the MAC to the NFL?
Right now it's going pretty smooth, but obviously I'm guessing it's going to be a big jump. Not really thinking too ahead, just taking it, day by day.
Harold, what have your first impressions been of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur? Obviously Shedeur got picked when you guys were up in that press conference on day 3 of the draft, but meeting them and what do you think about them as quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think they're going to be great. They're going to fit in great. Obviously being in the locker room with them, just kind of pick their brains, stuff like that. I think it's going to be dope. I'm glad that they're here.
What's your reaction when they put the playbook in front of you for the first time? I imagine it's a little thicker than what you had at Bowling Green.
It was no surprise. My last coach had a thick playbook like that, so really no difference.
You mentioned knowing some of the guys from before, but is there anyone, I know it's early, but in your time in this building that you've maybe gravitated towards, whether it's a vet that's here, coaches, or like a fellow rookie?
I definitely say Christian Jones. I say I definitely gravitate toward him. That's my position coach. Obviously just talking to him, picking his brain. He's been in NFL for a while, so yeah, definitely.
What about all the extra attention, cameras, us? How's that been for you so far?
It's a little different. I stream a little bit, so I kind of got the feeling of the camera being right in front of me. But it's definitely different. Getting used to it for sure.
Harold, obviously the highlights of you making plays, the passing game speak for themselves, but there's been different conversations about you as a blocker. I know Alex Bayer, your assistant coach, mentioned that he felt like you proved in your tape as well that you're a good blocker. Just what do you bring to the table in that respect? How did your time at Bowling Green prepare you? What they did with your blocking prepare you to be able to block as well?
Yeah, any other place, I practice hard, I just try to be coachable, just keep doing those little things, and I feel like it's definitely going to translate.
I think you said at the Combine that you were a Steeler fan as a kid. Your family was. What was their reaction to being drafted by the Browns?
They was definitely excited because, not that far away, get to come to the games. And I wasn't a Steelers fan. My brother's a Steelers fan, but pretty much same thing.
Will that change?
Oh, most definitely. You see him in Browns every day.
What fan were you? What team were you a fan of?
So my brother's a Steelers fan, but I liked to watch Le'Veon Bell growing up. So, yeah.
How about Travis Kelce is, from Cleveland? Is he somebody that you've really admired a lot, and is he someone that you will kind of try to connect with, maybe even around here somewhere?
Definitely. That'd be definitely dope if I could. I'm not really an outgoing person, but maybe I will hit him up, one day if I'm, feeling outgoing.
You mentioned that Le'Veon Bell was one of those players that you grew up watching, and obviously you're kind of known for maybe not being a prototypical tight end, having a little more movement. Did you kind of steal some stuff or kind of take notes on his running style or anything like that, or I guess what you kind of attribute to you just kind of being a little more dynamic at the position?
Growing up, I think I just played a lot of different positions, so it ended up helping me in the long run, I guess. Obviously, I want to take bits and pieces of his game, the patient, catch, pretty much do it all, so, yeah.
Has there been a moment over the past couple days where it felt like this is really sinking in for you, whether it was getting your number or seeing your name above a locker, that you're like, okay, this is real?
Man, definitely knew it was real, the day after, and I drove up, and, we talked to all the coaches and GM. That's when I was like, wow, this is really real. My family was here. It was a dope experience.
I don't think you played tight end until you got to college, right?
What'd you say?
You didn't play tight end in high school, only when you got to college.
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
how good do you think you can be? You're still a young tight end. And with pro coaching, what do you think your ceiling is?
I think my ceiling is high. You know, I mean, I'm gonna keep, obviously being coachable. Just keep learning. That's really it. Just keep, taking everything in, and just keep wanting to grow. Really. So I think I got a high ceiling.
I'm sorry. You ever think about what if Bowling Green hadn't made you switch tight end and it kept you on the defensive side of the ball?
No, not at all.
How aware are you of all the attention that Shedeur Sanders is getting both locally and nationally, all over social media, ESPN, everywhere you go? It's Shedeur time. So are you guys aware of that? Are you aware of that? And what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously that's definitely dope for him. I guess it's a good thing for him. He could use that to his advantage, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I always see him on TikTok or something. It's pretty cool that I get to, be in the same locker room as him for sure.
And, I guess I should know, but I don't. How did that switch from defense to tight end happen? You take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I always played a little bit of offense in high school. So then, my clips or whatever from high school, my coach really liked them, thought I can put on a few more pounds. And, it definitely helped me translate because playing safety and tight end, you pretty much, end up playing against a lot of safety. So I kind of got a good feel of, what to do whenever I'm playing against them.
How does someone who you said you're not the most outgoing guy, how do you decide to get into streaming?
So my teammate, he started streaming, started talking to me about it. So then I started to stream, and that's pretty much just how I started. He really talked me into it, Jacob Ayers.
Has that helped you become more outgoing a little bit? It's like you're talking to people through a camera. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it just allows me to, kind of just show like the inside, just be myself around the cameras, really.
Do you think do you think the fact that Shedeur is getting so much attention and so much run, even in a camp like this, will it also bring some positive attention for all of you guys and sort of spill over to you too?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. The camera's watching. I feel like, it definitely is going to, I guess, have more people looking into us and stuff like that, which I feel like is a great thing, in the media world or whatever. I mean, I feel like it don't really make no difference. Still football, though.
All right, there you go. Harold Fannin Jr. from the podium. Coming up next, we go around the sports world. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom of the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Did you watch any of the sports last night? This kind of blowout. I'm not into it. Can't get into it.
I could not care less about that series. I'm excited again because I have an allegiance, and I've been thinking about it. They've got to be. Did the ratings come out for that one yet? To me, it has to be like, I know it's not going to be, but it feels to me like it should be 2x Thunder Timberwolves. That's in my mind.
Let's see. Let me get you.
Because if you think about like the Giants draw the New York Giants, the football Giants.
Yep.
I just think New York teams draw. The Knicks, they're somewhat iconic. The Thunder Timberwolves have no juice to me whatsoever. Like none. Could be happening in a vacuum. Don't care about it at all.
All right, let's see. Yeah, it did nice. Game 1, the Eastern Conference Final. I mean, it's a low number, 6.6 million on TNT. Most watched Eastern Conference Final opener though since 2018. So since LeBron left.
All right,
here.
6 points. And what was Thunder Timberwolves?
Watch since 2018. They were down 24%.
The Thunder Timberwolves were. So yeah, that to me that says New York's a draw. Wasn't Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
Game 1.
I'm gonna call 4.2 is my guess.
5.6, 5.36.
5.4. Okay.
Yeah, 5.4.
Right. So I mean, a point better. Not crazy.
Yeah.
Not as big as I would have thought, but I guess that's what it does for you.
Well, I think the thing you're going against is you have in the West. Like if you were to ask my kid, who loves the hoop, he would say he's more excited to watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards than watch the Knicks and the Pacers.
Halliburton.
So because he does not have the nostalgia, but nostalgia is something that we all have, and so we're pulled back by that.
I like
That's
that,
a big
but I
part
also
of it.
it's the Knicks.
history.
I also would say, and this could be a controversial take, but from an NBA arena standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a better environment than the Garden when it's rocking.
I don't think you can. They'd be silly for anyone to dispute that. I would also argue that the Garden when it's rocking might be the best venue in all of sport.
Agreed.
I think it's hard to beat. I mean, there's something to the fact that when LeBron or Kobe or Mike, like there are these iconic performances on that stage in the Garden.
Yes.
You know, I've never been in there.
Oh, baby.
I've never been in there. I bet you've been there a lot for wrestling stuff, probably a bunch.
So I've seen
Draft, maybe?
WrestleMania. No, Draft's never been there. It was always Radio City. I've been to WrestleMania 20. There was a Survivor Series there where, believe it or not, this is a true story, The Rock made his return to the WWE, and I want to say it was The Rock and John Cena. The main event was Rock and John Cena in a tag team against Awesome Truth, which was The Miz and R-Truth. That was the main event of Survivor Series. Rock had not been in a WWE ring in a decade. Show ends, goes off the air, and Rock cuts a promo just for the house. And they shut him down chanting for Zack Ryder. It was my friend Matt Cardona. Yes, fact. You can find it on the internet now. They shut, and he goes, woo, 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 yeah, I love that guy too. Like, goes along with it and then gets back to what he's saying. But Madison Square Garden, not on television, shut The Rock down in his first time back in a WWE ring in a decade to chant for Zack Ryder, who got himself over by doing the true Long Island story on the internet by himself. He's a genius, and that was one of the coolest
Cardona
moments I've
is
ever been
Zack Ryder?
Was Zack Ryder in the WWE, and now he's Matt Cardona's his real name.
That's his real name, but he was Zack Ryder. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it. And then what else have I seen there? I've seen a couple of WWE Raws, and I have seen Fish like 3 times.
Bounce around the room, Fish?
Yeah, Fish.
Come on, that's a scene.
When I worked for CBS,
yeah,
Fish always plays New Year's. They play 4 shows in a row. They sell out 4 shows in a row at the Garden every New Year's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, like, I was able to go. My producer at CBS at the time, Hurricane Pedro, he was a big Fish guy, and so that was my first Fish show that I ever saw was in the Garden.
Was at the Garden.
And
so you've never seen hoops there, though?
Never seen
a sporting event there in the traditional sense.
Correct.
I feel like it's something I got to get there. I mean, I've been by it a bunch.
I remember watching all the Big East finals when Big East basketball was great. Was always in the Garden.
Chris Mullen actually talked about this week. He was on the Up and Smoke thing.
Mullen.
Yeah, he had given some great answers, but he said the thing that you don't realize now is that when he played at St. John, the Big East package was on ESPN. It was the only package ESPN had. So all the rest of these conferences were taking place in the mid-'80s, but their games were on weekends, and their games were on the networks, and they were just kind of on weekends in the winter. But the Big East was on every night on ESPN.
Yeah.
And so they played at Madison Square Garden. The Georgetown Patrick Ewing teams played.
It's all the same era.
They played, right. It's all mid-'80s. They played where the Wizards played, or then Bullets played. They played in these massive venues. I mean, the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Like, it was college basketball. It was kind of like pro. And remember they had 6 fouls, too, in the Big East at that time? But, yeah, he talked about, like, playing in the Garden. And then that's what led, like, other kids around the country to be like, man, I want to play in the Big East. I want to be a part of it. It's a lot like what's happened, honestly, in the SEC with college football.
Totally.
But,
I remember.
Yeah, I need to get there.
I remember one of the Big East tournaments, and I want to say Khalid El-Amin.
Khalid El-Amin
went like bonkers for UConn.
UConn.
Yeah.
I used to call him my fat friend.
He was good.
He was unreal.
He was a good player.
He was unreal.
He was a good player.
They had a lot of those kids at UConn. Ray Allen hit that double pump shot. That was against Iverson in Georgetown. That was 94 or 5, somewhere in there. Yeah, it was nuts.
So Fish, as like buttoned up as the Garden is for like wrestling events and them being on top of, things and making sure everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing, as buttoned as they are up about Fish, it is as you'd expect, lawless in there. Completely lawless in there.
That's how I would want it to be.
As it should be.
Yeah, so you get a game 2 tonight in the NBA on that side of things. A couple of things around the league. Aiden Hutchinson declared he is fully cleared for football activities. He fractured his tibia and fibula week 6 against Dallas. If they got to the Super Bowl, he was going to try and play in that.
Yep.
So that's not too surprising to me on that side of things. The Bills are the only NFL team favored in all 17 games this season. The Chiefs and Ravens are each favored in 16. The only times they're underdogs is when they play Buffalo. Are we too high on Buffalo?
No, we're appropriate.
It's appropriately high. Are they the favorite for you in the AFC?
They are, because they have got to be. I don't know if they're the favorite in the AFC. It's them in Baltimore, and then you can't say Kansas City. But in terms of the most pressure on a team, it's got to be on Baltimore and Buffalo. I mean, if not now, when?
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Finally, today is the final episode of Around the Horn. More than 4,900 episodes since 2002. I was never much of an Around the Horn guy. I would usually catch the last minutes leading into PTI. My routine when I used to watch this all the time when I was in local news was I would catch the end of Around the Horn, then I would watch PTI, and then the first segment of SportsCenter.
Yep.
That was kind of my routine.
I just remember like Jay Mariotti, and then something he ran afoul of something, and he was out of there, and he was very bitter about that. There was the other guy, Woody Page was always on there.
It was in the beginning, it was Kellerman. Kellerman was the host, and then they used the newspapers. So it was the LA Times, Chicago Sun-Times, Boston Globe, and then I think it was the Dallas Morning News initially, and then the Denver Post came with Woody, and then eventually they got to New York and used New York writers. It's very much a sports reporters keeping score.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that it's really important about those shows, and Eric Rideholm produced them both, PTI and Around the Horn. PTI came first. They were revolutionary in so many ways, but just the technical way that we do television now, like the idea of a rundown bar and a clock PTI on topics, all of that is from those shows.
The best part about Around the Horn was the host had all the power. He got to score whatever he wanted.
Just arbitrarily.
He had negative points for you. Don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Reale went from really like an intern on PTI to hosting it. He hosted for 20 years. Yeah. PTI is still going along. PTI's got to be on a short list of most episodes produced of television ever. 5 days a week for 25 years. I mean, that's got to be. I mean, if Around the Horn's at 4,900 episodes, the only thing that would be longer would be like soap operas that are like 50, like All My Children and stuff. Like those are probably 5 days a week year round for 50 years. But most live episodes produced, it's got to be way up there.
All right. Let's see if they have the number of episodes. Here we go. Sort by number of episodes.
It's got to be way up. While you're tracking that down, and we'll get you the answer to that on the other side of this timeout, I should also let you know that we will take a look at who has the best chance to be Team USA's starting quarterback in the flag football games. We will get to that. And we also have divisional strength. We will rank them 1 through 8. That's coming up in the second hour. Also, the mailbag is coming up in the second hour of the program. Get your questions in at Browns_Daily. And we will ask CBD on the hashtag, and we'll get to those. Second hour of the program coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Browns fan single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seats today for the top matchups at Huntington Bank Field during the 2025 season. Don't wait. Head to browns.com/tickets now. Over 5,000 episodes of PTI is where
That's
they're
substantial.
at. So that's a long run of it, my friend, to say the least. It is a mailbag edition of the program. Get your questions into the fellas at Browns_daily on the X platform, and they will have those there. Do we have the ability to answer questions on the YouTube stream?
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, so we can do it there too. So we could. Is Dr. J? I didn't even see. Did Dr. J in there? Or is it you and G-Man only?
Just me and G-Man.
You and the G-Man? All right. So you guys, one of you, so you could hit up the G-Man on the YouTube, and you can ask questions there too. All right. This is we spent some time talking about the flag football in the Olympics. Vegas has odds on the best chance to be Team USA's starting quarterback, and needless to say, they view this the way we did because I think we both picked Lamar to be the starter.
He's not going to be, though. I think the first person on this list as I go down that legitimately has a shot to be the starting quarterback for Team USA is Justin Fields.
I think I'm going to disagree, and I think the guy who's going to quarterback Team USA is Patrick Mahomes. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to do it. I think he said that he wants to. Said that he wants to do it. He's won 3 Super Bowls already. At that point, he will be probably starting down towards the back end of his career by the time you get to 2028. I think it's going to be Mahomes. I think Mahomes is going to quarterback Team USA in flag football.
Maybe.
I also think he's the one that no one could argue with. Like if he says I want to do it, I think everyone else has to kind of sit it out. Like there's nobody else on this list.
So we don't think that there's going to be a situation. The owners voted to allow this, but we don't think there's something that is like the owners can prohibit X number of players on their team from participating.
I think there's definitely going to be that. I think there's going to be a lot of owners that don't want, for example, if you're Cincinnati, you do not want Jamar Chase in this thing, and you and I were trying to put Lamar
Burrow.
and
That's
Jamar
why I said
and
Fields.
all those guys.
Like I could see the Jets being like, okay.
Well, he will probably won't even be with the Jets at that point. I think Mahomes is the reason, number one, I think he really wants to do it. And then I think he's also the type of guy where it's like, look, I gave you 3 Super Bowls, and by the time you get to 28, the odds are he's going to have another one. I'm a 4-time Super Bowl champion. I'd really like a gold medal. This is my one chance to do it. Hunt family, I think I'm going to do it. You got me twice for at least 2 years at under market value of what I'm worth.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it, and I think they would say, you're right. You can do it. Go ahead. So that's why I think all of those factors to me lead to I would be shocked if it's not Mahomes. As long as he continues to want to do it. He said previously that he wants to. So as long as he's saying that, I think he's the only one that all the rest of the quarterbacks in the league would stand down if he wanted to do it. And I think he's the only one who could go to ownership and say, yeah, I'm doing it.
I agree with that. That part of it I agree with. I just, like, if I was the Ravens, I would say no way. Commanders, no way. Bills, no way. Cardinals, no way. Although I think Kyler Murray, his odds are appropriate because I think he'd be darn good at this. Mahomes, I would say no way. Hurts, no way. Bo Nix, no way. Stroud, Burrow, Herbert, Caleb, Bryce. The first one that seemed to make any sense to me was Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think.
Like Jalen Milroe being ahead of Jared Goff is wild to me. I realize he's a great athlete, but that just seems crazy. What about Tom Brady? What if Tom Brady says, I want a quarterback team?
I wonder if that's what that Barstool thing that we were talking about in the break, I wonder if that's what that's about.
What?
Remember, we were talking about content in the break, and I was using Barstool as an example to the young gentleman, and the story that I clicked on was just happened to be the first one. Tom Brady is unretiring rumor in years, except this one makes absolute sense. So with Barstool, it's going to be some clickbaity. So let's see what we end up with here. Tom Brady, 47, set to come out of his retirement.
I could see him doing
it. Yep, nailed it. Olympics, 28.
He certainly wouldn't have to move much.
No. Yeah. He's plotting a detailed plan to unretire and lead Team USA's flag football team at the LA Olympics in 2028. He'll be 50 at the time of that.
I think you have a better shot. I think that is more likely than one of these megastars doing it.
Well, then the question becomes, does it become a team of retired NFL stars?
It probably should. Probably. I mean,
would a team? Now we get into something interesting. Would a team of retired NFL stars beat the best flag football team on the planet, which is American? That might be a game. I mean, it's Julio Jones. If it's Brady.
I mean, Calvin still look pretty good. I bet Josh Gordon probably can run around. So,
I would think.
Who are people that retired like young?
Be hard defensive. I mean, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like Kuechly and those guys who retired early. Like you need some guys who could run in the secondary who've retired early, like Joe Hayden. Guys like that.
I still think that team wins. Yes.
Do you have Joe's? I'm putting you on the spot here. My guess is you have some way to contact Joe Hayden.
Yeah.
Reach out to him and think if a team of recently retired NFL players such as yourself, could you beat the best flag football team on the planet? Knowing Joe, I think he's going to say hell yeah. That's what I think he's going to say. But then you might have something. Then you might have real qualification, and you might just have it on that front. That's funny. Yeah, of course that's what Brady's going to do. I will say though, the more I thought about it, like I think you're right. I think Kyler Murray'd be unbelievable at this. He's so shifty. He's so tight, and he's low to the ground, so the flags would be tough to get to.
Yep.
He's kind of everything you'd want.
He scoots.
Yep. He can wheel, and he can also bide time. Real shifty. Yeah. I like that a lot. I think that's a very, very good one there on that side of things. Any other surprising odds here? Oh, Tom Brady's 250 to 1.
He's on there.
Aaron Rodgers is 500 to 1.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was on Rogan. He was on Rogan.
Boy, was he.
He was really on there. And then, and by the way, did you hear what Matt LaFleur had to say? He said, I fully anticipate him being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Why isn't he yet?
So on Rogan, he hinted at some real family medical stuff that's dicey, but it just didn't ever make sense. It didn't. So like I think it's going to go the way that we all think it's going to go. This one from PFF's Trevor Sikkema ranked each NFL team's division by strength heading into the 2025 season. Here's how all 8 divisions stack up, ranked by overall strength of teams within them. All right, let's do this exercise ourselves, buddy. 1 through 8 divisions. I think one might be the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Are we 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we're 2. AFC North is 2. 3 is that NFC East.
That's what I got.
Yep. All right. At 4,
I've got AFC West.
Yes, I don't have a problem with that. AFC West.
Got Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs.
Yep. 3 playoff teams. That's tough to beat. All right. 5.
I have NFC West.
Yeah. I don't know what Seattle's going to be with Darnold.
I don't either, but the Rams are good. The Niners should be somewhat good. The Cardinals are interesting.
Yep. I don't have a problem with that. 7.
6, right? 6.
I'm sorry, 6.
I have the AFC East on the strength of the Bills alone.
Yeah. Okay. And then 7, 8 are the 2 Souths.
Yeah, I think probably NFC South, AFC South. Houston, if Houston was coming off of a stronger performance.
I agree with you. I know where you're going there. I think I like the AFC South better.
All right, so
because I like Jacksonville.
Let's
and
just do
Houston.
it this way. All right, top team Tampa Bay, Houston.
Yeah.
Second team Atlanta, Jacksonville. Third team Carolina, Indianapolis, and fourth team right now is quarterbackless New Orleans Saints and Tennessee.
Yeah. It's close. I feel like
I think AFC South.
AFC's slightly better.
Yeah, I agree.
Only slightly better. What did Trevor show us?
Let's check your work, guys. Number 1, NFC North.
Really.
Number 2, AFC West.
Oh, jeez.
Number 3, NFC West.
Oh, jeez.
We are number 4, the AFC North.
NFC West third.
How can you have a team that the NFC East had? That was the NFC Championship game.
Sure was.
Correct?
It sure was, yeah. And they're behind
the Cowboys have added, and you have the Super Bowl champion in the division.
That's right, yeah.
Which is the best team in the NFL. That's how
right.
that works.
Last time I checked, yeah.
So you had 2 of the final 4 teams. That's the only division that had 2 of the final 4 teams. Am I mistaken about that?
You are right.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about, buddy?
5th?
5th. So he's got the NFC East 5th.
So we have the same top 5.
Yeah.
And he's going to have the
just wrong on
AFC
his
East
order.
6th.
6 is NFC South.
Oh, God. That's stop it.
The Bills alone make that.
There's not a single Super Bowl contender in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
7 is AFC East, and rounding it out, the AFC South at number 8.
Yeah, that's he's just wrong. Trev's wrong. I'd like to hear him. I'd like to hear the logic of the NFC East 5th with the 2 teams in the NFC Championship game, and every team in that division got better.
Yeah.
The NFC East sent both representatives to the NFC Championship game last January, but those 2 teams, Eagles and Commanders, are carrying most of the weight for the division as a whole.
Fine.
That's fine. And Dallas is not. If Dak doesn't get hurt, they're in the mix. Come on, man. All right, there you go. Coming up next, we'll hear from Louis Riddick and Dan Graziano on Shedeur Sanders and Week 1. You have that to look forward to. In addition to that, the Mailbag coming up shortly. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Bally Vet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Elk & Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. This was from Get Up. Here is Louis Riddick and our good buddy, Dan Graziano, saying why Shedeur Sanders should start week 1.
Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Browns' starting quarterback when this season begins. Is that ridiculous?
No, Greeny, it's not ridiculous as long as they are able to. And I heard Dan Graziano talking about this morning earlier on ESPN radio. Yeah, I listen to it when I'm in my car in the morning. It's all as long as they can get him enough reps. And it sounds like Kevin Stefanski is aware of the fact that in order to create a real quarterback competition, he has to kind of change some things in terms of the way he divvies out reps during the preseason and during the offseason. If he can compete with Dillon Gabriel, if he can compete with Joe Flacco, he can compete with Kenny Pickett, there's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with a level playing field, he could be your starter week 1. No question about it.
Look, sometimes we attach this number now. He was a 5th-round draft pick. Yeah. And I understand that there was a reason for that. I'm not pretending it doesn't matter at all. But what I'm saying is if he had been drafted in the 2nd round or the 1st, which is what we were expecting, then there'd be almost no debate about it, right? We'd be with exactly the same body of work in college and the same skill set. We would absolutely be forecasting him to be the starter, especially, Dan, when you consider the other options they have available.
Right, but he is a 5th-round pick, and there was another quarterback they drafted 2 rounds earlier this year, right? In addition to Joe Flacco, who helped them get to the playoffs 2 years ago, and Kenny Pickett, who he's in the mix as well. So they have 4 guys. They need to get them all practice reps. Kevin Stefanski, what Lewis was alluding to, he put 7-on-7 drills into the rookie minicamp. Usually rookie minicamp is just, classroom stuff, very basic stuff, nothing really, and in terms of team competition. But he wanted Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel to be able to get some reps at a time of year when they weren't competing with veterans for those reps. So he's very conscious, Stefanski is, of trying to make this as good, as close a competition as possible among all 4 of them.
All right, there you go.
Look,
I love how, let's just say this, like how Mike Greenberg did that is how, that's been his note for a long time to great success. But, we have got to find something to have a take on.
Yep.
Let's go. And then you got to get people who will play along, and that's what you get.
I don't think, unless Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel just are so head and shoulders above Kenny Pickett and Flacco, for that matter, but head and shoulders. I think people have to understand this. Does anybody think if we start Joe Flacco that we're winning the Super Bowl?
No.
So then I think he's kind of a break glass in case it all just goes completely to heck. You have Joe Flacco here. But if you look at his record as a starting quarterback around the league outside of our season, it's been a while since he's been a very successful starting quarterback. Now, can he throw the football? Yes, but he will throw it to the other team as well. We know what he is, and boy, is he great and a lot of fun.
Yep.
But we're trying to solve a decades-long problem here at that position. And given his age, he's just not really a candidate to be that solution long-term. Unless Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel are head and shoulders above who I believe is the front runner and have for some time, Kenny Pickett, I don't see why you would start them. And the reason for that is simply the schedule. If you start a rookie quarterback, I believe you want him to come in and have a chance to have some success. And I think Cincinnati, at Baltimore, Green Bay, at Detroit, London, at Pittsburgh is a pretty tough way to open your career.
Yep.
Cincinnati won 9 games a year ago, should have won double digits. Ravens double digits, Green Bay double digits, Detroit double digits, Pittsburgh double digits, Minnesota double digits. You don't play a team that had a losing record a year ago, and quite frankly, the biggest underachiever of the teams you played was 9-8, and that was the Bengals. That's just a tough way to start your career. I don't think it's about so much week 1. I think it's about who finishes this season and who starts 2026 week 1, or if somebody can commit or convince you that they are absolutely worthy of being that guy, and then you can use 2 first-round picks on young studs to get in here and help this roster.
This is This is me. Certainly not. I mean, Kevin Stefanski and his staff, they're going to try and win every game they play, and that's what we all want. You want to win every game you play, because when you're in that stadium and you've invested your time to root, you want wins. That's it.
Of course.
For me, from my vantage point, what is most important about 2025 is figuring out if one of those three young guys can be the guy. And so I don't have to draft a quarterback in 2026. That's what, to me, this is about. So, and Pickett's in that. We've been talking about this for 2 months. Before even the draft, we talked about it.
Pickett's definitely in that. He's 26.
He's 26 years old. He's a year older than Dillon Gabriel.
He's on his rookie contract. He's a first-round pick.
So he is 100% in that. They went out and acquired him, and he's the guy that is the leader in the clubhouse by a pretty wide margin, in my view. So then the other two, you drafted Dillon before Shedeur. You're going to give them all the same bites at the apple. But what I need to know coming out of 2025 is, and hopefully it manifests with a playoff appearance and you have a great year and you have fun and you have all those things, you have some big wins. But what I really need is to know if any of those three guys can be the long-term answer and solution. That's the whole season to me.
That's the season.
The rest of it.
That's the season.
That's all that matters.
That's
to
everything.
Me.
Yes, that's everything. That's all that matters. You want to have everybody else develop. But listen, we heard Joel Batoni. This is going to be – the Browns are going to try to win by doing the following this year. Run the football, take care of the football, hit big plays off of play action when they are available, play field position, and play great defense.
Very old school approach.
That's what we're going to have.
Yeah.
We're back to being a team, and obviously you hope to get away from this, but we're going to be a team that's going to follow a pretty particular path to victory.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a team where, I don't think we're going to be winning a lot of 37, 35 shootouts.
No.
It just doesn't feel like how we're built to me, or what we're going to, or how we're going to try to play the game. I've been able to kind of watch. We watched the mini camp. We got OTAs about to start next week. You're going to see a lot of things that are going to look very familiar to the 2020, 2021 Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things look very familiar to that offense that we are trying to run. A lot of things that if you go back to when Kevin Stefanski was with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, you're going to see a lot of that stuff. And it can be very successful and surgical, and that's how we're going to have to be.
Mailbag time coming up next on a Friday. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. No, a young Browns fan in the making. Join Junior Browns Backers, official kids club for kids ages 4 to 12, presented by University Hospitals, Rainbows, Babies, and Children's in association with Cardinal Credit Union. Joined by June 8th to score an invitation to the first event of the season, Field Day. Visit juniorbrownsbackers.com to join today. Time to open up that mailbag. Hello, young Brock. How are you?
Hello, gents. Happy Friday.
It is. It is. This is a good Friday. Oh, that's good. Good job out of you, Kev. Little Mission Impossible. Very strong, very strong. Do you think this will be it for him? It's supposed to be the final reckoning. Do you think he'll actually not do this part anymore?
He's
62.
a lot like the wrestling business. Never say never.
I also think, and Simmons has said this before, and I think he's right, that he probably wants to die doing a stunt.
I think
he's trying to
definitely
engineer
in play.
his death while making a movie.
I definitely think that's in play, which would be nuts.
Pretty crazy, but that's the way it seems. That's what he's going for. I do think it'd be interesting to see if because the premise of the how much of Mission Impossible is Mission Impossible and how much of it is Cruise.
It's a genre that people love.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great genre. CIA, espionage,
we love
spies. We love that genre. So the genre is great. Yeah. And then, and it's got Tom Cruise in it. And it's been consistent, great music, great. Like, is Ving Rhames still in it?
He was in the last one I watched.
Hey, that's a fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. All right, what do you got? What do you got there, B?
First question from Trey Carey. The top 5 celebs you'd want to have a drink with.
LD.
I like this one. This is a good one. All right.
I'd like to celebs, so non-athletes. It seems
Athletes
like this
are
is
celebs.
going. Are we doing that, or are we doing just non-athlete celebs?
I mean, you can do it either way.
LD would be one. I just think that seems like pure joy. Although I did listen to him. He was on a podcast that I listened to. Oh, he was on one with Dana Carvey and David Spade.
Okay.
He was on their podcast, so I thought this seems like it's going to be great. And it was basic. He did very little. Very little. He basically just laughed at them doing bits, and they took turns like trying to make him laugh almost. Is kind of what it was.
Probably what they wanted it to be.
Yeah, like he wasn't a huge participant. But I feel like him and like the Funk Man would be.
No, we can't get the Funk Man, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, no. But like that would have been at the top of it. Do you have a strong list?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray would be so much joy.
Bill Murray.
I think, right? Feels like he would be.
Pretty sure I listened to him when we were in Puerto Rico. I'm pretty sure Bill Murray did Rogan.
Probably.
And it was interesting. He was promoting his movie. And he was like, I don't know anything about you, to Rogan, basically.
Oh, no. And that's what's happening. That's why I said, like, Tom Cruise did 35 minutes on McAfee.
Yeah.
Because and President Trump used this in the election. He didn't do, like, the traditional stuff. Like, he went on Theo Vaughn. He went on Rogan, and then that's how you
So I have Larry
promote.
David, Bill Murray, and The Rock, for sure.
It's a fun group.
Be great.
Be a fun group.
I mean, there are others, obviously.
So many.
There are.
Yeah.
I could put Tom Cruise on the list, honestly. I find him to be very interesting. I think he's a little odd, but I would love to ask him about, like, Top Gun. And
do you think he can be, like, a normal, relatively I mean, he's been ultra famous for 40 years. And he's had a lot of controversy. It wasn't just the jumping on Oprah's couch. Do you remember when this is a big part of early YouTube? Do you remember when the clips of him talking about Scientology went on YouTube?
They were worried,
and everyone was
Katie
like,
Holmes
what is
was
going on?
Katie Holmes was like kidnapped.
Yeah. I mean, it was wild.
Yeah.
The Scientology clips that went on YouTube, and then I think they all got pulled. But, like, I remember doing a show, and we would put those clips on.
Yeah.
Like, just play them randomly, coming in and out of break. They were crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Cruise
a tough one. CC for you? As the fifth?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. That's what I'm saying. It's a tough
one for the kids. Yeah,
there's a list.
Here's
there's
the thing,
multiple
too.
Lists that you can
if you're putting together like a dinner party, then you don't want to have it, like that's what LD said. He's a middle.
He's a middle.
So that he can kind of dictate. I think Vince Vaughn would be fun.
Vince Vaughn is a great one.
I think he'd be a lot of fun.
Vince Vaughn is a fantastic.
It feels like a good time. I feel like very little effort from him would go a long way.
I'm going to take Cruise.
Like if you just brought back the Seinfeld with LD, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jason Alexander, Kramer, Michael Richards, Seinfeld, and LD, and just talk.
I hate to say it.
I think that
I
wins.
don't need Jason Alexander.
Only reason I put him in there is because I think he's kind of a crud, and I would like to see LD with him.
Take Seinfeld out.
Well, now you're talking.
Hold on. We were not thinking this through. All right, Larry David, Bill Murray. I do have to have The Rock in there. Vince Vaughn is a very good one, but he could be out. All right, now I'm talking Uncle Baby Billy.
Oh, jeez. In character?
In
Not
character.
Walton Goggins. I don't need that.
In character.
Give me Uncle Baby Billy in character. And McBride. McBride's
So
probably
then you have him.
People say McBride's like the funniest of all the funny people.
McBride.
Like he makes the comedians laugh as McBride.
McBride, and then JB Smoove. I mean, to have Larry there with Leon to get those two together.
That would be very good. If you could bring the Funk Man back.
Well, yeah. If you got Funk Man would be in the mix for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, Ving Rhames, it lists like your top 12 movies. 8 of them are Mission Impossible movies. And there's a voiceover in Lilo and Stitch, Pulp Fiction, obviously. He's a voice in a cartoon movie, The Wild Robot. And then he was in a 2000 film called Holiday Heart, never heard of it, and a 2001 film called Baby Boy, also never heard of it. So basically, his career is Mission Impossible, a little bit of Pulp Fiction, and then obviously
Pulp Fiction
Arby's.
launched him, and then he got Mission Impossible out of that, and then the Arby's is probably where the steady paychecks come.
Totally.
He's been doing that for a long time.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's also in Piranha 3D. My bad.
Yeah, I don't have a point of reference on that. Damn good as Marcellus Wallace, though.
Yes. He was also the boxing promoter. He was in Con Air.
Oh, yeah.
Con Air.
He's Con Air. What an idea for a movie.
He was in Striptease.
Oh, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember the movie, obviously. I don't remember him in the movie.
Me neither.
I remember nothing of the plot. I remember why we all went to go see it.
For sure.
Yeah.
He was in two Guardians of the Galaxies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a lot of work then.
Yeah.
Voiceover in that, though. Got to be voiceover.
No, I bet he's an alien. I would guess that he plays an alien in that. Somebody of consequence. Let's see. He is Charlie 27.
I don't know what that is.
Let's see. That could be a robot. It could be.
All right. What else you got, B? Go ahead. Next.
No, he's a real person.
I'll be dinged.
A genetically engineered soldier from Jupiter.
Okay.
How about it?
From Dog Pound Cleveland Brown, what are some fun things to do in the summer in Cleveland? Going to be making a trip there in July and wanted to find some things to do.
I think it's an abject failure, I've said it before, of this state, of how it does not promote what it has. I think we spend way too much time sometimes complaining about how people view us without thinking about the things that are positive. The entire Lake Erie Island area is a home run. From Sandusky to Put-in-Bay to Kelly's, Catawba, those are all home runs in the biggest way possible. Just from Rock Hall, Science Center, I love the Museum of Natural History. The beaches around here are great. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is awesome.
Hall of Fame.
It's awesome. Really cool. And I actually think the state of Ohio does a really poor job of promoting it. I really do. But I think summers here are pretty damn good.
First of all, golf.
A lot of great golf.
I think a fun thing to do is go down and get like a cabin in Hocking Hills.
Oh, yeah.
In the summer, it's a nice thing to do.
You can do that in Amish country, too. You can do that in Amish country, too, do those cabins.
Yeah?
In Amish country.
Like you mentioned, the islands out there. Yeah, I think there's tons to do.
Yeah.
Tons to do here.
Jake in Wayne County. I love when you guys work Big Lebowski quotes into the program. What is your favorite scene or quote from the movie?
Oh,
the Dude Abides.
The Dude Abides is pretty good. You need a toe. I'll get you a toe.
Green nail polish. Yeah.
Amateurs. Just amateurs. I mean,
the
Donnie, you're out of your element is unbelievable.
Yes, you're out of your element. You're like a child who wanders into the middle of a movie. You have no frame of reference.
Jackie,
Donnie, please.
That Donnie, please is unbelievable. The Jackie Treehorn scene.
Treehorn's great.
I'm digging your vibe. I'm digging your vibe, Jackie. Like, really loves Jackie Treehorn's vibe. That's unbelievable.
When he says necessary means. I love that. When Brandt says that.
Maud Lebowski.
Maud.
And Thorough.
The whole interaction in the lanes with Jesus. Pull out the trigger. And
take it easy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you will.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
The dude abides.
So good.
Another Caucasian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a great film. It's one of my all-time
Holds up,
favorites.
absolutely.
Yep.
I've seen it. It's on a list of 10 movies I've seen the most in my life for sure.
And it gets better with more views.
Yeah, at no point do I, even rewatching it, if I were to rewatch it tonight or whatever, at no point would I be like,
great music.
Fast forward through this. No, it's awesome.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one from YouTube. If Rodgers doesn't go to Pittsburgh, do you think Pittsburgh would reach out for Pickett or Flacco?
Neither.
No.
I think they would go for Cousins.
No, I think Cousins is right.
I think they'd go Cousins. But again, I think it's done. I think that he's been going there. They know he's going there. He was always going there. And that's where he's going to end up. But, yeah, I think they would go Cousins.
If he is, in fact, going there, I'd like him to stay away for a very long time. There's no need to come in. You don't need to get work in a new offensive
You don't need to learn
scheme.
new terminology or anything. You're fine. You don't need to throw it around. It'll come right back. It's like riding a bike. Oh.
You're off.
My bad.
There it is.
Another one from YouTube. The proposal to seed a WC team with a better record over a division winner didn't pass. Since the Browns play in such a tough division and have never won it, I would like to see this. You guys?
No. Got to win your division to get a home game.
Yeah, I know you're anti it. I was
anti.
for it, but it's not a hill for me to die on. I don't care that much about it, but I do like the idea of just, I think the NFL needs to get to 8 in each. 16 teams get in, and 1 versus 8, 2-7, 4-5, and 3-6. That to me feels like the way to kind of handle it. But yeah, I think it's. Again, it's not worth it. I think the NFL playoffs largely get it right. I think what they were trying to avoid with this was, some of these games where it's, Tampa Bay hosting somebody, or it's some of these AFC South games they've had through the years. That's kind of what they're trying to get away from, is these AFC South, NFC South teams having to host.
As I said, for those who miss it, my idea to fix this whole issue, and then you have it seeded purely, is you have 2 conferences. You play of 16 teams. It's an 18-game schedule. You play everybody in your conference once. You alternate every year, home and a road. You play everybody that was in your original division when we eliminated them twice. So you always play home and home with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincy. That's an 18-game schedule. You'll end up with, my guess is, 9 home, 9 road. But my guess is, as this evolves, you'll get 2 bye weeks. And as this evolves, every team's going to play. This would be my proposal. Tell me if you think it's crazy.
Yep.
So everybody ends up with 8 home games, 8 road games. Your 2 extra games, 1 is an international game, and 1 is a neutral site, like college stadium game. So you could do.
No, that'd be fun.
Browns, Colts one year in the shoe.
Yeah. Yeah, Browns. Yeah, that would be a great one. Browns, Philly in the shoe. You could do. I mean, the Detroit could play at the Big House. I mean, there's a lot of cool things you could do. You could play at Notre Dame Stadium. I think a lot of that would be cool. Well, you could do that in Tennessee. I mean, if we go to really big picture, you could play at Bristol, the racetrack in Tennessee. They played football games there before college games. I think Tennessee played Virginia Tech there a few years ago. That would be cool too. Yeah, I think that'd be fun to do it in a different way.
8 home games, 8 road games, 1 international, and then 1 like in a place in America that doesn't get to have pro football.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's good. I also like your idea of like we don't need to play everybody in the NFC.
Don't need to.
We got teams to play. You'll see them in the Super Bowl because I think baseball. I don't know. I think baseball blew it with that. Like there was something special.
Totally there
about
was.
the way that it used to be, and now it's just
And
what
the
difference
games
does it
were
make?
different rules.
Yeah, now it doesn't matter. American
No.
League, National League, does it even make a difference at all? Probably not. Time for one more?
Yeah, we got one more here. Brian from X. What do we need to see from the Browns offense this year to consider the season a success and feel good headed into the next year?
Answer at quarterback.
Yep.
I just think it's that.
Yep.
That's what the year's about.
And then the second part to that one is what's the strategy in terms of wide receiver and offensive line?
Well, I mean, the offensive line's still in pretty good shape. You're going to have to probably address tackle next year in the draft. And
that's why it'd be so great to be able to find a quarterback. You have 2 first-round picks to address these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no doubt you need an infusion at there. I mean, I'd love to come out of there with a tackle and a receiver next year.
Yeah.
Although if Caleb Downs is there, I think I would want him very badly.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have 2 high picks, so... I'm going to tell you, dude, I just did this exercise this morning. Of the top 20 teams in ESPN's SP+,
yep,
15 are going to be starting new quarterbacks next year. There are 5 returning quarterbacks in college football in the top 20. 5. Wow. So, like, if you think that you're going to have this draft where there's going to be all these quarterbacks going in the first 10 picks, I don't know. I don't know if that is the case, especially if Arch Manning does what we all believe he will do, which is stick around in Texas, which is kind of what everybody assumes. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Tyreek Hill against girls flag football team. Just
Verse 40.
There's 40 of them. All right, go ahead.
They're not
Just
gonna get a
describe
flag.
what happens.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to get his fight. He walks, lets them get near him. And
How
then
close are they?
They got
5
within
feet? 5, 6 feet?
2 yards, yeah. And then he takes off. I mean, one girl, poor girl, looks like she's in quicksand. They had 2 legitimate grabs at it. But that was it.
2 attempts.
They needed to form like a cocoon, like a circle, and make him at least run through 2 of them. They did not.
You don't understand 4.2 speed, like what that is. There's no angle
and
for
the
4.2.
acceleration.
Yeah, there's no angles for 4.2 speed.
Ridiculous.
It's built a little bit different. Best Memorial Day of your life. Memorial Day weekend of your life. You got one?
I don't think so.
I should have made it a tradition. We would drive from Tallahassee to Destin. Buddy had a boat, and they tie up all the boats in Destin Harbor, and so it's like just a party in this Gulf. And just wear cowboy hats and drink beer.
Sounds great.
And the first time we went, it was that song with Willie Nelson and Toby Keith, Beer for My Horses. So that became like the anthem for it. And I always said when I left Florida, I'm going to make sure I go back every year. And, of course, you don't because life happens. But the spirit of that was pretty good. That's a hell of a weekend.
I just like a nice Memorial Day. You get a little parade, eat some ribs. Really is what I would like.
Sun and splash and
that's it.
Play a little golf.
Yeah.
None of which we will be doing. This could be cold.
No, it's going to be cold.
Cold and wet.
Yeah,
there you go.
30.
Be safe out there, kids. Get your Ubers locked in. Do your designated drivers. Do the smart things. Be safe this weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. We are back on Tuesday. Thanks for listening. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns.